Welcome to the Manifest Therapy YouTube channel. I am Mona Sarshar and I'm a psychologist. My goal is to empower you with the tools, mindsets, and skills you need to elevate your life. I make these videos to provide you with content that you can revisit and review frequently because our brains learn best through repetition. Repetition of meaningful ideas is one of the best ways to create lasting changes and growth. Today is August 11th, 2023, and in this video, I'll be discussing important self-improvement strategies that can greatly impact our lives for the better. Some of them are the highlights of my previous videos, but I'm expanding those topics and adding new perspectives to them. Additionally, later in this video, I'm going to discuss cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, a valuable technique that offers practical tools to address and modify our thoughts and behaviors. I believe we're here on this planet to learn, grow, and evolve as human beings. We came to this world to uplift ourselves and one another. We go through painful struggles and setbacks. It is hard, but those are the moments that allow us to evolve. Our challenges shape us into a wiser and more thoughtful person. Each of us has so much potential within ourselves. As we overcome difficulties and gain new perspectives, we can unlock more of our potential to live this life fully and contribute meaningfully. I'm very passionate about self-improvement. It's like a journey of continuous growth and discovery, where each step we take brings us closer to becoming a better version of ourselves. Self-development allows us to expand our capabilities and positively impact the world around us. An important factor to remember is we cultivate gradual transformation through daily practices and rituals. So you can look at this journey of self-improvement as a marathon, not a sprint. As long as we're moving forward, we're making progress. In one of my videos, I talked about how to change our lives and get ahead in life. Change is hard, but so worthwhile. The first thing I highlighted was showing up differently to your life. How are you showing up each day in your life? To show up differently means to approach situations, interactions, and experiences with a fresh perspective and altered behavior. It involves consciously choosing to change our attitudes, responses, and actions in order to create new outcomes or dynamics. Essentially, it's about breaking away from habitual patterns and embracing a more intentional and mindful approach to how we engage with the world around us. This can lead to personal growth, improved relationships, and a greater sense of fulfillment as we navigate life with a renewed sense of purpose and adaptability. Today, I want to have an in-depth look at why consciously showing up differently in life is so essential if we wish to improve our results and reach our highest potential. We find ourselves trapped in routines because we operate on autopilot. We react versus responding intentionally. But growth requires awareness and courage to show up as our best selves, even if it feels unfamiliar. Our perception shapes our reality. How we view a situation influences how we respond to it. If we are stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, we tend to attract more negativity. But if we shift our perspective, we open the door to new opportunities and positive outcomes. There's a quote from Albert Einstein that goes, "We can't solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." If we want different results, we need to show up differently. Shifting our mindset can break the patterns that hold us back. Again, we often navigate through life following patterns and habits that may not serve our best interests. Breaking patterns is about recognizing these ingrained behaviors and consciously choosing to respond differently. Patterns are like comfortable routines. They provide a sense of familiarity and stability. But some patterns can become limiting, trapping us in cycles that hinder progress and personal development. These patterns may manifest as negative thoughts, self-sabotage, procrastination, or staying in unhealthy relationships. Why do we need to interrupt or break patterns? Patterns can keep us stuck in a comfort zone, preventing us from realizing our full potential. Breaking them opens the door to new experiences and growth. Life is dynamic, and what worked in the past may not be suitable for the present. Breaking patterns allows us to adapt to evolving circumstances and seize new opportunities. Patterns can also lead to stagnation. Breaking them injects vitality and excitement into our lives and can foster a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Patterns can make us feel powerless or stuck. Breaking them empowers us to take control of our lives and make intentional choices that align with our values. The first step to break patterns is self-awareness. Identifying the patterns you wish to break involves a process of self-awareness and observation. Set aside time for introspection. Take moments throughout the day to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Consider situations where you felt stuck or unsatisfied. You can have a journal where you write down your experiences, thoughts, and reactions. Notice the circumstances or situations that tend to trigger certain thoughts or behaviors. These triggers can offer clues to underlying patterns. Reviewing them can help you spot repeated patterns over time. Remember, recognizing patterns is a gradual process that requires patience and self-compassion. As you become more attuned to your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, you will gain a clearer understanding of the patterns you want to break. Then you can replace old patterns with positive habits that align with your goals. For instance, if you're trying to break the habit of negative self-talk, replace it with affirmations or self-compassion exercises. Later in this video, I will discuss CBT techniques and I will explain exactly how to identify negative and unhelpful thoughts and replace those thoughts with more realistic ones. Breaking patterns can be challenging. Let's take the example of procrastination. If you often find yourself procrastinating, breaking this pattern might involve recognizing when and why you procrastinate. Is it when you're faced with challenging tasks or when feeling overwhelmed? Then identify your triggers. Is it perfectionism or fear of failure? And find ways to manage them, such as setting realistic goals or practicing self-compassion. I will dive deeper into these topics later in the video. Breaking patterns is a transformative journey that requires dedication. By consciously choosing to step out of familiar tracks, you create a space for personal evolution, enhanced well-being, and a more authentic and fulfilling life. The next important concept is the ripple effect. The ripple effect refers to the phenomenon where a single action or event has far-reaching and often unexpected consequences that spread outward, similar to the way ripples expand on the surface of water when a stone is dropped into it. In various contexts, the ripple effect signifies how an action in one area can impact other related or unrelated areas, resulting in a chain reaction of effects. This concept is often used to describe both positive and negative outcomes that stem from an initial action, illustrating the interconnectedness of events and the potential for amplification as consequences spread outward. Consider the simple act of starting your morning with a positive thought or a moment of gratitude. This initial ripple of positivity can set the tone for your entire day, influencing your mood, interactions, and decisions. Additionally, as you carry this positive energy into your interactions, your kindness and warmth might create a ripple effect in the people you encounter. A smile or a genuine compliment can brighten someone's day, causing them to pass on that positivity to others they interact with. Similarly, making a small effort to prioritize self-care, whether it's a brief moment of mindfulness, A healthy meal choice or a short walk can send ripples of well-being through your body and mind. These ripples can boost your mood, enhance your focus, and increase your overall sense of contentment. In contrast, negative ripples can also impact our day. A single negative thought or a moment of frustration can trigger a cascade of stress or negativity. Recognizing these patterns and intentionally disrupting them can change the course of your day. For instance, taking a deep breath and consciously redirecting your thoughts can set up a ripple effect of calmness. Now that we're talking about taking a deep breath, I would like to highlight that Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about the fastest way to calm down the nervous system involves a specific breathing sequence. He suggests beginning with a deep breath, followed by what he calls a sneaky breath, and then completing it with an extended exhale. Now, getting back to the ripple effects, in essence, the choices we make and the attitudes we adopt send out ripples that shape the experiences we encounter. By understanding the power of these ripple effects, we can actively choose to initiate positive changes in our day. Small actions, thoughts, and behaviors can create a chain reaction, transforming ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities for growth, connections, and well-being. Again, this is the Manifest Therapy YouTube channel, and today is Friday, August 11th, 2023. And we're talking about self-improvement strategies and how to level up in life. The next important concept is grow inwardly. The concept of growing inwardly refers to the intentional and continuous process of personal development, self-discovery, and self-improvement. It encompasses nurturing one's emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being and cultivating qualities such as self-awareness, resilience, empathy, and inner peace. Growing inwardly involves a journey of exploring the depth of one's thoughts, beliefs, values, and emotions, and striving for a harmonious and authentic alignment between one's inner self and the outer world. At its core, growing inwardly is a deliberate commitment to self-evolution. It goes beyond superficial changes and focuses on cultivating a strong foundation of inner peace and wisdom. It involves acknowledging and addressing limitations, fears, and negative patterns while fostering qualities that lead to personal empowerment and a sense of purpose. Growing inwardly requires care, attention, and patience. Just as plants need the right environment to flourish, your inner growth thrives in an atmosphere of self-awareness, reflection, and positive intention. We often try to change externals, but in many cases, things that are happening in our lives are out of our control. So lasting outer change requires inner transformation. Work on your thoughts, stories, your perspective on life. If we become our best self first, actions will follow. Think of it like this. The way we see ourselves, others, and the world impacts what happens around us. When we shift how we see things, it can open up new possibilities and opportunities that we might not have noticed before. Changing the way we think also helps us deal with challenges better and treat others with more understanding. When you start to change the way you think and feel on the inside, it's like adjusting the settings on a GPS for your life journey. Different thoughts and feelings can guide you towards new paths and destinations. For instance, if you shift from thinking, I can't do this, to I can figure this out, suddenly challenges become more manageable and you're more likely to take positive actions. Think of your thoughts and feelings as tools in a toolbox. When you swap out negative tools for positive ones, you can fix things that weren't working well before. Just like a mechanic uses the right tools to repair a car, you can use your thoughts and feelings as tools to fix or improve aspects of your life. But remember, this change doesn't just happen on its own. It's like tuning an instrument. It takes practice and effort. By changing how we think inside, we take charge of our own story and guide our life in a direction that matches our goals and values. Next important step is envisioning the life that you want. Envisioning the life we want is like creating a detailed blueprint for our future. It's about using our imagination to paint a vivid picture of the kind of life we desire to lead. It's like marking destinations on the map. When you have a clear picture of where you're headed, your inner guidance becomes like a GPS helping you make the right turns and choices. Think of it as planning a road trip. You decide on your final destination and then you chart out the route, deciding which highways and roads to take. Similarly, when you envision your life's direction, you're creating a mental roadmap that your inner wisdom can follow. When you have a strong mental image of where you want to be, your inner guidance system kicks in. It's like having an intuitive compass that helps you make decisions aligned with your goals. This process involves thinking about various aspects of life, career, relationships, health, hobbies, and more. What kind of job do you see yourself in? How do you want your relationships to be? What activities make you truly happy? By answering these questions, you start to create a mental picture of your ideal life. Envisioning isn't just daydreaming, it's a powerful tool. When you have a clear image of where you want to go, you're more likely to make choices and take actions that move you in that direction. It's like having a roadmap that helps you stay on track. Of course, life isn't always predictable and plans might change along the way. But by having a vision, it's a way to take the driver's seat in your life journey, steering towards a destination that truly resonates with you. When we have a clear vision of what we want, we see the bigger picture, how each piece fits into the grand design. This holistic perspective enables us to prioritize, align our efforts, and eliminate distractions that don't contribute to our vision. Clarity empowers us to set meaningful goals. It's like having a target in a shooting range. We know exactly where to aim. As we work towards our objectives, our actions become purposeful and deliberate, giving us a sense of direction and accomplishment. Having clarity also enhances our decision making. It's like having a filter that shifts through options, helping us choose what aligns with our vision. This eliminates indecision and reduces chances of getting sidetracked by choices that don't contribute to our ultimate purpose. Here are strategies you can use to envision the life you want. Reflect on your values and desire. Take time to consider what truly matters to you. Identify your core values, passions, and aspirations. What do you want to achieve? What kind of lifestyle do you envision? Set a specific goals. Break down your aspirations into specific achievable goals, whether they're related to career, relationships, personal growth, or health. Having clear objectives will give your vision direction. Visualize your ideal life. Close your eyes and mentally paint a vivid picture of your ideal life. Imagine where you are, who you are with, and what you're doing. Engage all your senses to make the visualization more immersive. Use affirmations. Create positive affirmations that reflect your desired outcomes. Repeat these affirmations regularly to reinforce your vision and boost your confidence. And then you can create a vision board. Gather images, words, and symbols that represent your goals and aspirations. Arrange them on a physical or a digital vision board. This visual reminder can help keep your aspirations at the forefront of your mind. Write a life vision statement. Craft a statement that encapsulates your envisioned life. Describe your goals, values, and the impact you want to make. Then revisit this statement regularly to stay aligned with your vision. Break down steps. Outline the practical steps required to bring your vision to reality. Practice gratitude. Cultivate a sense of gratitude for your current circumstances and progress. Gratitude can enhance your positivity and motivation as you work toward your vision. Stay flexible. Life is unpredictable, so be open to adapting your vision as circumstances change. Flexibility allows you to navigate challenges and seize unexpected opportunities. Take action. Your vision won't become reality without action. Take deliberate steps each day toward your goals. Even the small actions contribute to the realization of your envisioned life. The next concept is appreciating the now. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in striving for the next big thing, often overlooking the beauty and significance of our present reality. Honoring your present reality is about recognizing and appreciating where you are right now, acknowledging the moments, experiences, and emotions that shape your life. Honoring the present moment means fully embracing and appreciating the here and now without dwelling on the past or constantly anticipating the future. It's about immersing yourself in the current experience, acknowledging its value, and being fully present, both physically and mentally. Imagine you're savoring a delicious meal. Honoring the present moment involves enjoying each bite, savoring the flavors, and truly experiencing the pleasure of the food. It's about being engaged in the act of eating rather than being distracted by other thoughts and activities. When you honor the present moment, you cultivate a state of mindfulness. This means that you're aware of your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they happen without judgment. It's like being an observer of your own experiences, allowing them to unfold without getting caught up in regrets or worries. By practicing presence and mindfulness, you create a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. You become attuned to the richness of every moment, whether it's the beauty of nature, a heartfelt conversation, or the simple joy of everyday life. Honoring the present moment is a powerful way to reduce stress and anxiety. When you focus on what's happening right now, you free yourself from the weight of past regrets and the uncertainty of the future. This can bring a sense of contentment even in the midst of life's challenges. Look at it this way. When we find ourselves dwelling on the past, it's important to remember that the past is behind us and we have no power to change it. Everything that has happened is already in the past. We have no control over it. What's done is done, and our energy is better spent focusing on the present and shaping our future. While we can't alter the past, we do have the ability to influence our present and future by making positive choices and taking meaningful actions. Instead of ruminating on what's already happened, we can channel our efforts into creating a better now and building a foundation for a brighter tomorrow. Redirecting our attention from the past to the present empowers us to be more fully engaged in our current experiences and relationships. It allows us to learn from past mistakes and use those lessons to make wiser decisions moving forward. By embracing the present moment, we open ourselves to new opportunities and possibilities that can lead us toward a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Honoring is connected to accepting reality as it stands. When we choose to honor our reality, we engage in a process of acknowledging and embracing our present circumstances without attempting to change or resist them. This, in turn, allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace, which can reduce the stress and anxiety that often accompany the struggle against what is. Furthermore, honoring our reality nurtures self-compassion, encouraging us to treat ourselves with kindness and empathy. It encourages us to shift our focus from a rigid pursuit of an idealized version of reality to a more gentle and compassionate relationship with the imperfections and uncertainties of the present moment. I will expand on this topic further in the video. Here are some practical steps to honor present moment. Dedicate a few minutes each day to simply observe your surroundings, your thoughts, and your feelings. Let go of judgment and immerse yourself in the present. Have a gratitude journal to write down the things you're thankful for each day, or at least a few days a week. This practice reinforces the habit of recognizing the positive aspect of your reality. Focus on one task at a time, whether it's savoring a meal or completing a work assignment. This approach enhances your connection to the present moment. Unplug regularly. Take breaks from technology to reduce distractions and connect more deeply with your surroundings and the people around you. The next important concept is improving your identity. Our identity is a collection of beliefs, values, and self-perceptions that shape how we perceive ourselves and interact with the world. When we consciously and intentionally redefine our identity, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and create a foundation for personal growth. Improving your identity means consciously embodying the qualities and attributes you want to have. It involves aligning your actions, thoughts, and beliefs with your desired self-image. By intentionally cultivating these qualities, you transform into the person you want to be and create a life that reflects your true potential. Changing your identity involves embracing new habits and behaviors that align with the person you aspire to be. As you consistently practice these new behaviors, they become part of your identity and contribute to positive transformation. Improving your identity allows you to rewrite your life story. You have the power to reinterpret past experiences, reframe challenges as opportunities for growth, and create a new narrative that empowers you. This shift in perspective can liberate you from your past and create a positive foundation for the future. In order to improve your identity, consider your values, strengths, and weaknesses. Determine what aspects of your identity you want to modify and why. Once you have a clear understanding of what you want to change, set specific, measurable, and achievable goals. And don't forget, accumulation of small changes will lead to bigger changes. This is Manifest Therapy YouTube channel. Today is August 11th and we are discussing self-improvement strategies. You can use the technique of positive self-talk through personification, which I talked about in my previous video. It is a technique that involves creating a character or persona to represent your motivation, inner strength, or desired qualities. By personifying these positive attributes, you can engage in self-talk as if you were speaking to or embodying that character. This technique leverages the power of imagination and storytelling to enhance motivation, boost confidence, and overcome challenges. Here's how you can implement this approach. Consider what you want to achieve or the areas of your life where you need motivation. Think about the characteristics or role models that inspire you in those areas. This character should embody the qualities, traits, or values you want to cultivate within yourself. For example, you might imagine a confident and determined person or a wise and supportive mentor. Then define the persona. Give your motivational persona a name, appearance, and personality. Visualize their characteristics, strength, and how they would respond to challenges. You can even write a brief description or create a visual representation of the character to solidify their presence in your mind. Engage in positive self-talk. When faced with obstacles or moments of self-doubt, engage in self-talk as if you were speaking to your motivational persona. Use phrases like, "You've got this," "I'm strong and capable," or "I embody the spirit of..." You can say the name of the character. By speaking to yourself in this way, you reinforce positive beliefs, boost self-confidence, and motivate yourself to take action. Seek guidance and support. Imagine having conversations with your motivational persona to seek advice, encouragement, or reassurance. Ask them for guidance on how to overcome challenges or approach difficult situations. Visualize their responses, providing you with empowering and motivating insights as if you were receiving guidance from a trusted mentor or role model. Visualize success through the persona. During visualization exercises, imagine yourself achieving your goals or overcoming obstacles through the eyes of your motivational persona. Visualize their confidence, determination, and joy as they succeed and allow yourself to experience the same emotions. This visualization reinforces your motivation, belief in your abilities, and increases your commitment to taking action. This unique approach allows you to tap into your imagination and harness the power of storytelling to stay motivated. By personifying your motivation and engaging in positive self-talk as this character, you create a tangible and relatable presence that can support and uplift you during challenging times. This technique helps you reframe negative thoughts, cultivate a positive mindset, and tap into your inner strength and motivation to achieve your goals. Remember, finding what works for you personally is essential in maintaining motivation. Give this technique a try and see if it resonates with you. Adapt it to fit your style and preferences, and continue exploring other methods until you find strategies that consistently keep you motivated. Keep in mind, staying motivated is not just about reaching the finish line. It's about embracing the journey and discovering your true potential. Now let's discuss the important concept of shifting your inner voice. Shifting your inner voice refers to consciously altering the way we speak to ourselves in our thoughts and self-talk. It involves changing the tone, language, and content of our internal dialogue from negative or self-critical to positive, supportive, and empowering. Our inner voice is like a constant companion, shaping our perceptions, influencing our emotions, and guiding our actions. Shifting the inner voice means transforming it from a harsh critic into a passionate and motivating coach. It's about challenging self-doubt, self-judgment, and limiting beliefs, and replacing them with affirming and encouraging statements. Think of your inner voice as a radio station. Shifting it means tuning into a different frequency. Instead of negativity, you choose to play a playlist of positivity, encouragement, and self-belief. For example, if your inner voice tends to say, "I will never be good enough," shifting it would involve changing that narrative to something like, "I'm capable and I can learn and improve." This intentional change in self-talk can have a profound impact on our self-esteem, confidence, and overall well-being. Shifting the inner voice requires self-awareness and practice. It involves actively monitoring the way we speak to ourselves and intentionally replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. Over time, this practice can rewire our thought patterns and contribute to a more constructive and empowering mindset. By shifting our inner voice, we create a supportive internal environment that fuels personal growth, resilience, and a healthier self-image. It's a valuable tool for cultivating self-compassion and nurturing a mindset that empowers us to overcome challenges and reach our full potential. One of the most remarkable aspects of shifting the inner voice is its ability to reshape our emotional landscape. When our internal dialogue is filled with criticism, doubt, and negativity, it can lead to feelings of anxiety, insecurity, and frustration. But by consciously changing this dialogue to be supportive, compassionate, and optimistic, we create a foundation for emotional well-being, confidence, and resilience. Consider how this shift might unfold in practice. If faced with a challenge, a critical inner voice might say, "You're going to fail. "You're not good enough." Shifting this voice involves reframing it to something like, "Challenges are opportunities for growth. You have the skills and determination to overcome this." The simple change in perspective can empower us to approach challenges with greater confidence and a proactive mindset. Shifting the inner voice is not about denying reality or ignoring areas for improvement. It's about recognizing that our thoughts have a profound impact on our emotions, behaviors, and outcomes. The process of shifting the inner voice requires consistent effort and practice. Over time, it becomes a habit, a natural inclination to respond to challenges with self-assurance and to setbacks with resilience. It's a transformational journey that can lead to a more empowered and fulfilling life, where our internal narrative becomes a powerful source of inspiration, motivation, and growth. Again, stay tuned as I'll be discussing cognitive behavior therapy (CBT) later in the video. This powerful technique can provide practical insights and tools for making meaningful changes in our thoughts and behaviors, further enhancing our journey of self-improvement. Now let's discuss the importance of progress through micro steps. Progress through micro steps refers to a method of achieving personal or professional goals by breaking them down into small, manageable, and achievable tasks. It involves taking incremental steps which contributes to the overall progress toward a larger objective. This approach recognizes that significant accomplishments are often the result of consistent effort and gradual advancement. Big goals seem impossible, but you can achieve goals through tiny, consistent actions compounded over time. Imagine progress as a staircase. Each step represents a move forward in your journey. Now envision those steps becoming smaller, almost like mini stairs. Micro steps are like breaking down a big task into bite-sized pieces. Instead of trying to climb the entire staircase at once, you focus on taking one small step at a time. Progress through micro step is also about building momentum. Just as a snowball grows larger as it rolls down a hill, your progress accumulates as you complete one micro step after another. This sense of accomplishment fuels your motivation and makes the journey towards your goal more enjoyable and sustainable. Moreover, this approach helps alleviate overwhelm. When faced with a daunting challenge, breaking it into manageable micro steps makes it less intimidating and more achievable. It's like deconstructing a puzzle. Each piece is easier to handle and fits into the larger picture. This method can also help to improve focus. Micro steps keep you laser focused. You're not tackling a mountain. You're taking a series of deliberate focused actions. And also, it helps with easier planning. Planning becomes simpler when you break down things. You can map out your path with precision, knowing exactly what you need to do next. It also helps with flexibility. Micro steps are adaptable. You can adjust your approach as you go, responding to new information or challenges. Additionally, it helps with growth and learning. Achieving micro steps encourages you to learn along the way. Each step is an opportunity to gain insights and skills that contribute to your overall growth. And also perseverance. Micro steps teach you to keep going, even when the going gets tough. You learn to embrace challenges and setbacks as part of the process. It also helps with efficiency. By focusing on one small task at a time, you can increase efficiency and productivity. This prevents multitasking and ensures you're giving your best effort to each step. In summary, progress through micro steps refers to the strategy of breaking down larger goals or tasks into smaller, manageable, and achievable steps. Instead of tackling a complex or overwhelming objective all at once, this approach involves taking incremental and bite-sized actions that gradually lead to the desired outcome. Imagine you have a big project to complete. Progress through micro steps would involve dividing the project into smaller tasks or milestones. Each of these tasks becomes a micro step, a mini goal that is more attainable and less daunting. As you accomplish each micro step, you build momentum and move closer to the overall goal. I would like to highlight that one of the remarkable aspects of this approach is its ability to overcome resistance and procrastination. When faced with a daunting task, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and postpone taking action. However, when you focus on a single micro step, the barrier to entry becomes much lower. This often leads to just one more phenomenon. Once you start, you're more likely to continue tackling additional micro steps. Furthermore, progress through micro steps allows you to adapt your approach based on your available time, resources, and energy. Whether you're learning a new skill, working on a creative project, or striving to make lifestyle changes, this method empowers you to make steady progress even in the face of challenges. Let's explore an example of progress through micro steps. Imagine your goal is learning a new language, but you're starting from scratch. Applying progress through micro steps can help you develop language skills over time. Micro step 1 can be introduction and basics. Begin by familiarizing yourself with the language's alphabet, pronunciation, and basic greetings. Spend time learning common phrases and simple vocabulary. Micro step 2 can be daily vocabulary. Over the next couple of weeks, focus on learning a small set of new words each day. This gradually builds your vocabulary. Micro step 3 can be basic conversations. Practice having basic conversations using the words and phrases you've learned. Engage in simple dialogue to improve your speaking skills. And micro step 4 can be grammar and foundations and etc. You get the idea. By breaking down the goal of learning a new language into manageable micro steps, you gradually build your skill and confidence. As you embrace the philosophy of progress through micro steps, you develop a growth mindset. You begin to view challenges as opportunities for learning and advancement. Each micro step you overcome becomes a building block in your personal development journey that can contribute to your sense of self-efficacy and accomplishment. The next important concept is living above your story. Living above your story means transcending the limitations of your past experiences, circumstances, or self-perceptions. It involves rising beyond the narratives and labels that might have defined you in the past and consciously choosing to shape your present and future based on your aspirations and potential, rather than being confined by past chapters. Imagine your life as a book, with each chapter representing a different phase or experience. Living above your story means recognizing that while your past chapters have contributed to who you are, they do not solely determine your identity or dictate your future. It's about understanding that you have the power to rewrite the script of your life and create a new narrative moving forward. This concept encourages you to break free from self-imposed limitations that might have kept you tethered to the particular story. It invites you to redefine yourself, embracing your strength, passions, and dreams, and letting go of any beliefs or habits that no longer serve your growth. Let's say you've faced setbacks or challenges in the past. That's part of your story. But living above your story means you don't let those setbacks dictate your future. Instead, you use them as stepping stones, intentionally choosing to move forward, learn, and create better narrative. Living above your story is about becoming the author of your own narrative, making intentional choices that align with your values and aspirations. By doing so, you open yourself up to a world of possibility and allowing yourself to explore new paths, take risks, and embrace change with a sense of courage and enthusiasm. This approach requires self-awareness, resilience, and a willingness to challenge ingrained patterns of thought and behavior. It involves acknowledging your past, learning from it, and then consciously choosing how you want to show up in the present and shape your future. Living above your story and living intentionally are closely related concepts that work hand in hand to shape a purposeful life. Living intentionally is about making conscious choices and decisions that align with your values and goals. It's the act of taking deliberate actions rather than simply going through the motions. When you live intentionally, you're the driver of your own life, actively directing your path and creating a meaningful journey. The connection between these two concepts becomes clear when you consider how they work together. When you live intentionally, you're already making a choice to direct your life in a purposeful way. And by living above your story, you're ensuring that your intentional choices aren't limited by old narratives or fears. For example, let's say you have a goal to start a new job. Living intentionally involves actively seeking opportunities, networking, and enhancing your skills to achieve that goal. But if you're held back by self-doubt due to past failures, you're not truly living intentionally. Living above your story in this case means recognizing those doubts, challenging them, and intentionally making choices that align with pursuing a new job. Living above your story is a concept that encourages personal growth, self-awareness, and empowerment. It entails transcending the limitations and challenges of your past experiences, traumas, and self-doubts to create a life that aligns with your true potential and aspirations. When you live above your story, you actively rewrite the narrative of your life, focusing on your strengths, passions, and dreams rather than being defined by your past. Shifting your mindset is crucial when living above your story. Replace self-limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. Instead of dwelling on what you've been through, focus on who you want to become. Cultivate a growth mindset that views challenges as opportunities for learning and development. Growth mindset originally was coined by Stanford University psychology professor Carol Dweck. Growth mindset is a belief system or mindset that centers around the idea that one's character, skills, and intelligence can be developed and improved with hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. Your mindset can significantly influence your reality. The way we think about ability, challenge, and effort powerfully shapes our potential for growth. Far too often, we limit ourselves by adopting a rigid, fixed mindset about our capacities. Today, I want to explore how a growth mindset can help us reach new heights. Those with a fixed mindset believe talents and intelligence are static. They label themselves based on innate gifts, discounting the transformational power of trying and practice. But in a growth mindset, abilities can be developed over time through discipline. Brains and talent are not fixed, but like muscles, grow stronger through challenge. We're not defined permanently by current skills. With hard work and strategic practice, we can always improve. Growth mindset recognizes no realistic limits to human potential. Knowledge becomes not something we inherently have or don't, but a choice to pursue relentlessly. With a growth mindset, we welcome constructive criticism, seeing it as valuable data to fuel improvement, not a personal attack. Over time, small incremental gains compound over phenomenal transformation. Like dripping water cutting through rock, progress is made through consistency. By taking risks and moving beyond comfort zones, we have the chance to force our greatest breakthroughs. Next important aspect of personal development is practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion refers to treating oneself with the same kindness, understanding, and care that one would offer to a close friend or loved one in times of difficulty or struggle. Instead of being overly self-critical or harsh, self-compassion encourages you to respond with self-kindness and understanding. It's about acknowledging your own humanity, imperfections, and vulnerabilities without judgment. In other words, be your own best friend. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Self-compassion is a profound practice that involves self-kindness, recognizing our shared humanity, and approaching our experiences with mindful awareness, which I'm going to explain these three. What is self-kindness? It's the same as self-compassion. It involves being gentle and understanding toward yourself, particularly when dealing with mistakes or hardships. It's about offering yourself words of comfort and encouragement just as you would to a friend in a similar situation. What is common humanity? Recognizes that everyone experiences challenges, setbacks, and moments of struggle is a crucial aspect of self-compassion. Instead of feeling isolated in your difficulties, you acknowledge that these are shared human experiences. What is mindfulness? Being mindful in the context of self-compassion means observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. It's about facing your feelings, whether they're positive or negative, with an open and non-reactive mindset. Here's a specific example. For the purpose of this video, let's consider the example of someone named Sarah. Sarah is a talented marketing professional, recently experienced a major setback at work. A campaign she had poured her heart into didn't get the expected results, and she felt very disappointed. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism and doubt, Sarah chose to practice self-compassion. In the first phase of self-kindness, Sarah acknowledged her disappointment and gently reminded herself that setbacks are part of professional growth. She treated herself with the same kindness she would offer a friend in a similar situation, giving herself permission to feel without judgment. In the phase of common humanity, Sarah recognized that others in her field have faced similar challenges. She realized that she wasn't alone in her experience and that even the most successful professionals encounter hardships. Then in mindful awareness, Sarah practiced mindful awareness by acknowledging her feelings of frustration without getting overwhelmed by them. She allowed herself to experience her emotions without magnifying them. Next valuable technique is cognitive behavior therapy, coined by Aaron Beck. I would like to emphasize that the techniques mentioned in this video are intended for educational purposes and should not be a substitute for professional therapy. While these strategies can offer helpful insights and tools, they're not a replacement for personalized guidance from a qualified mental health professional. In the event the thoughts are very intense and anxiety-provoking, you should seek assistance from a qualified professional instead of trying these techniques on your own. Cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, is a widely practiced form of psychotherapy that focuses on helping individuals understand and change patterns of negative thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. It's based on the premise that our thoughts, feelings, and actions are interconnected. And by identifying and modifying negative thought patterns, we can effectively improve our emotional well-being and overall functioning. In other words, CBT aims to improve mental health by identifying and reshaping unhelpful thought patterns that influence our feelings and actions. It equips us to be in control of our minds. CBT teaches us to recognize any unhelpful or negative thought patterns that might be holding us back. These thoughts can impact how we feel and how we act and can create a cycle that keeps us stuck. Let's consider an example of someone who has a strong fear of being judged or negatively evaluated by other people. This results in chronic social anxiety and avoidance of related situations. In CBT, the first step would be to help this person identify the automatic negative thoughts and irrational beliefs triggering their anxiety in social situations. For example, let's call this person John. When John is invited to a dinner party, the automatic thoughts might be, these people are going to think I'm boring and weird. I'm just going to end up embarrassing myself as I always do. They're going to see how insecure and awkward I am. In this case, John is thinking about the worst case scenario in that he will be completely judged and rejected. But in CBT, the goal is to evaluate thoughts against reality. Are John's anxious predictions really rational and factual? John's therapist could help him see that these predictions are cognitive distortions not grounded in true evidence. John has no proof everyone will dislike him. Yes, he's made social mistakes in the past, but they didn't end in disaster. And it's certainly unavoidable he will be judged harshly again this time. The therapist will then help John generate more balanced thoughts like, it's unlikely every single person will dislike me. People are focused on themselves. Or, I may feel awkward at first, but I can handle it. The dinner will pass. Or, my worth isn't defined by others' approvals of me. With practice, John can let go of the distorted thinking and restructure irrational social anxieties into realistic perspectives. This enables him to gradually face anxiety-provoking situations with less distress. The focus becomes living according to his values of connection, not avoiding exaggerated fear. CBT gives tools to identify and counter the specific cognitive distortions personalized to one's thinking patterns. With time, John can learn to short-circuit his habitual rumination and replace anxious thoughts with more helpful narratives. This builds confidence and resilience. While initial work is done within the therapy space, the ultimate goal is for clients like John to be equipped to notice and reframe cognitive distortions on their own in real-world situations. CBT aims to establish healthy thinking habits that translate into less anxiety and more functional behaviors. With practice, John will be able to use CBT techniques to challenge his own maladaptive thoughts in the moment when they arise. He will learn to recognize irrational predictions and respond rationally. This ability to self-correct unhelpful thought is true mastery of CBT skills and cultivate long-term relief from anxiety rooted in cognitive distortions. In another example, let's look at how CBT could help someone named Sarah who is suffering from chronic low self-esteem. She has an ongoing inner voice that tells her she's worthless, unimportant, and incapable. In CBT, Sarah would start with identifying the specific automatic negative thoughts that reinforce this low self-image. For example, when she makes a mistake at work, the automatic thought might be, I'm so incompetent. I can't do anything right. My coworkers must think I'm stupid and useless. Or, I'm a total failure. I should just give up. Sarah's exaggerated self-criticism immediately assigns huge meaning to any minor imperfection. Her inner voice overwhelms her with harsh judgments. But are these anxious thoughts based in reality when looked at objectively? Her therapist can help her see the cognitive distortions that exaggerate flaws and ignore strength. For instance, making one error doesn't mean total incompetence. My worth isn't defined solely by productivity. I've succeeded many times. One setback won't ruin everything. The therapist guides Sarah to reframe irrational beliefs into more balanced thoughts that counter her maladaptive narrative of worthlessness. For example, I made a mistake, but I'm learning. My worth isn't defined by perfection. Not everyone is focused on evaluating me. People make errors. This feeling will pass. I accept myself even when I struggle. With consistent practice, Sarah can break down negative self-talk and construct healthier core beliefs about her value. This enables her to gradually build resilience against self-esteem challenges. The focus shifts to self-acceptance and living by her morals, not distorted self-judgment. CBT equips us to target the specific cognitive distortions personalized to our mind, like emotional reasoning, labeling, overgeneralizing. Over time, Sarah will be able to short-circuit destructive rumination and substitute rational thoughts. This can help her to build confidence. Initial work examining Sarah's thought patterns begins in the safety of the therapist's office. But the goal is again for Sarah to own these skills. With practice, she can independently notice and reframe self-defeating narratives as they arise in real life. In summary, first step is thought awareness. Start by paying attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask, is this thought realistic? Challenge it by looking for evidence that supports or contradicts it. Next step is thought restructuring. Once you identify negative or irrational thoughts, reframe them. Turn them into more balanced and realistic statements. For example, change "I'm failure" to "I've faced challenges before and overcome them." The next step is journaling. Write down your thoughts and emotions daily. This can help you track patterns and gain insights into your mental landscape. You will also see the progress you're making over time. Remember, CBT isn't an instant fix. It's like learning a new skill. It takes practice. Consistently applying these techniques can lead to significant changes in your thought patterns, emotions, and behaviors over time. So start small, be patient with yourself, and watch your mind transform into a resilient powerhouse.